Hello, everyone, and welcome to this WWE The Bump exclusive. I'm Matt Camp, and this Bump Extra is going to be out of this world. I'm about to introduce a man who we grew up associated with outer space. He once told us as the iconic Captain James T. Kirk in Star Trek. They used to say that if a man could fly, he'd have wings. But he did fly. He discovered he had to. Well, this 90-year-old became the oldest human to fly higher than any of us could ever imagine. Let's please welcome WWE Hall of Famer William Shatner. Hello, Mr. Shatner. Thanks for being with us today.
Well, it's a pleasure to be with you, indeed. I did fly high. I flew 65 miles into space, which is not quite as high as the fictional Captain Kirk, who used to warp speed all over the universe. But 65 miles into the air is far enough. Actually, more than
The
10
Kármán
feet.
line, as it's known.
It's exactly
Just a little
right.
higher.
The Kármán line. Well, that's the subway you take. You take the Kármán line, and then you get off and take line A, and it takes you. The Kármán line is the line that they have suggested, or is, for reasons that I don't know, the beginning of space. So we went a few miles above that, and so rather than I heard somebody say the edge of space, I was in space.
In space, beyond. You were there, you were past the Kármán line, and you were there. I would love everyone who didn't get to see it yet get to take a look at what exactly you did. So let's take a look at that right now.
God.
Weightlessness. Oh, Jesus.
Kármán line.
No description can equal this. Weightlessness.
This is nuts!
Oh, my God.
This is
Oh, wow. Oh, I'm telling you.
holy hell.
Oh, my goodness me. Oh, wow. I can't believe this.
Mr. Shatner, amazing to see those images and just hear your reaction. I mean, it's a day later. You said no description was necessary.
That's the first time I've seen that footage. I left there right away to go back to Los Angeles to do this, actually, to do press, which I've been doing this morning. So I haven't seen that footage, and that wow, but even the camera, of course, can't portray what it was I was seeing out that window. What I was seeing out that window was the line, not the Kármán line, but the line where the blue blanket on Earth ends and the blackness of space begins. And you see that line. It's only 50 miles wide, apparently, the air surrounding the Earth. It's only 50 miles wide. And we were going 2,500 miles an hour. So whatever the mathematics were, within a count of 1, 2, 3, and boom. And you're through this little narrow, life-giving air, and you're into the blackness, and it's palpable blackness. It isn't the blackness of galaxies and stars. It's just like the blackness you see when, or you don't see when you're in a cave and they close the door to give you an idea of how black is black. That's the blackness of space from what you see from the window. It is mind-boggling, and such a cliche. Seeing death, and then the choice of life, and the ability of man to preserve that life as against what we're doing is inching our way towards that blackness. I was overwhelmed. I was able to look down. I had a point of view that very few people ever have. A point of view looking down on Earth through the blue, seeing the line of the blue and the demarcation of life and death. Life and death, that's what I thought I saw. And when I came back to Earth and the warmth of Earth and the love of the people and the view of the mountains and the sustaining qualities of Earth, I was just overwhelmed.
I want to ask you this because I watched you talking to Amazon and Blue Origin founder Jeff Bezos once you were back on Earth, and you're with the rest of the
Yes,
crew,
yes,
Audrey Powers and Dr. Chris Bosshausen and Glenn DeVries on this
yes,
second human flight of Blue Origin. And you said something that really stuck with me. You said, I hope I never recover from this. And you don't usually hear that
yeah,
from someone with such a
right,
positive experience. It's been a day now. Have you
yeah.
recovered from this?
No, no, I haven't. And as I said there, what I meant by that was I am so filled with the joy of living and the knowledge of how not just important it is to save what we've got and to fight back against all this pollution and the death that Earth is facing. I was feeling all those things that I don't want to forget that. I want to, I'm not that I'm proselytizing, but I do have children and grandchildren, and I want them to have the opportunity to see what I saw with the mountains and the desert and the joy and the animals, the critters that live there. I want them to have the chance to see it as well. And I don't want to forget that. I don't want to forget how important it is. I've got an album out there now called Bill. It's a great album. It's getting incredible reviews and doing very well. But in the album, Brad Paisley accompanies me in a song called So Far From the Moon. And there were dire circumstances in my life at the time that I was living the song 50 years ago. And I was so far from the moon. The guys were walking on the moon, and I was not. And I had a little something to do with it. And 55 years later, I got closer to the moon than anybody at that moment. And the irony of that song, so close to the moon, so far from the moon, that that the irony struck me that I had written that song, and here I was, flying
Um,
in a spaceship.
Amazing. Amazing how that can all come to. Now, I believe that because of all your years captaining the USS Enterprise, you were the most qualified celebrity to go into space. I felt that was very obvious. Who else would they pick? But considering what you've done in your career and being part of space on television, did you ever really have this desire to go to space in real life?
Well, when I was doing Star Trek so many years ago, I've forgotten what condition the space program was in, but it couldn't have been more than in its infancy. So the concept of someday going into space, it never occurs to you. Who wants to climb Mount Everest really, except a few individuals who are intent on doing that. But most of us sit back and say, "Wow, why would I put myself through that?" And that's basically the impression I must have had back then. Why would I want to go through all that turmoil? Go into space for what purpose? Well, and I'm sure I would have thought that before all this took place with Blue Origin. But the message that Blue Origin is promulgating of we got to get the industries that are polluting out of off of Earth and into space, since we're taking the baby steps. And I thought that's a really good argument that Jeff Bezos is doing, a really good idea. And these baby steps of getting people, and then more people, and then instruments, and then finally industries up there. It's a really practical idea. So I thought it was interesting. I made a documentary about it too. So now that I've come there and back and interviewed everybody, including Bezos, we have a great documentary which will be out as soon as possible.
I want to bring someone on you've had an amazing history with here in WWE. In fact, January 9th, 1995, we saw on Monday Night Raw one of the greatest editions of King's Court ever. Your relationship with this WWE Hall of Famer spans decades, and he even inducted you into the WWE Hall of Fame. Let's please welcome on to the program once again, WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler. Hello, King. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm doing good. Probably not as great as Bill, but I'm doing fine.
No,
Hi, Bill.
Jerry. Ever since I threw you out of the ring, and you soared, you had an apogee, and you landed. Now the truth of the matter is, Jerry, he took care of me the whole time. He was marvelous. And then in addition to that, in your Hall of Fame induction ceremony, I had a real experience. I don't know. I think I've ever told you this, Jerry. They said, I'm here to help to introduce his induction into the world Hall of Fame is Shatner. And I come out, and we were in Detroit, and I had stopped by Detroit to do this very thing, and this enormous audience of passionate lovers of you. They didn't want to see Shatner in Hollywood, so they began to boo. And I thought, whoa, I'm being booed, which every wrestler understands, but actors, it's like the nightmare. They're booing me. It was.
Well, I remember that well. I remember that well, Bill. But I told you as soon as I came up on stage with you there, I said, this is a tough crowd, especially there in Detroit. They're always that way. Our WWE fans sometimes can be a tough crowd. They've booed me many, many times. But I just want to say, going back to our first meeting, other than me pile driving Andy Kaufman, getting the alien monkey flip from you, Bill, was one of the highlights of my career. I love that.
Oh, I know, but I did it. In reality, I did it so poorly. The toss was so badly done.
No, you did it perfectly.
Gorgeous. Did I? All right, I'll tell you.
Yes,
fantastic. King, I got to ask, what was your first thought when you heard Mr. Shatner was actually going into space?
Well, I mean, I thought it was a natural. I mean, like you said earlier, who better to go into space? And in our business that we're in, Bill, you and I, the entertainment business, the first thing I thought, or maybe the second thing I thought was, what great publicity for Blue Origin. I mean, how could they do a better job of letting the world know about what they're doing than bringing in one of the biggest stars that has been associated with space his entire life? So I thought, I didn't say publicity stunt, but I sort of thought, what a great publicity stunt.
No, but you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It all started by us. Jason Ehrlich and I, especially Jason, had this concept. And 2 years ago, we went up to Seattle to say, I should be going up into space. Shatner should be going up into space. It seemed like a great adventure. And I was sort of reluctant, like nobody cares whether I go into space or not. And then when Bezos decided to go himself first, I thought, oh, great, he's going to choose me to go with him. So he chooses his brother instead. So I think, well, that's it. No, I'm not going up into space. And then they invited me to come on the second ride. And I thought, well, the second ride's like coming in, like being vice president. But this thing hit worldwide, and it was like a huge story. And the story is, we've got to clean up our act now. Otherwise, your children, let alone your children's children, are not going to see the light of day.
Is one of your only regrets about this is that it didn't last longer?
I tell you, Jerry, what I went through is they rehearsed us, they practiced us a lot, to the point where my shoulders, my arms, you're lifting yourself up with muscles you don't use ordinarily. And I'm in pain. I was able to get to work out a little this morning, so some of that stiffness is going. But during that whole practice period, I was in pain. My hips, because I've got two hips, the metal hips. I got a back up. I'm a horseback rider, and I was an athlete, and so like you, I'm sure everything hurts, and everything hurts with me, and doing that stuff made it hurt more. So the more they practice, I'm in pain. I'm in pain. But what I went through so quickly seemed like eons anyway. It doesn't matter. The immediacy, the hitting 5 Gs, like you're weightless, get back in your seat, get back in your seat. And we practice that. Get back, strap yourself in, and weightlessness. Now they can say this is what's going to happen, but they really don't know what's going to happen, because you got to put the seat belts together and bang. you hit the air, where air is, and the spaceship suddenly stops, and you're in 5Gs. And from weightlessness to 5Gs, by the time your fist hits somebody on the chin, it's as quick as that and as startling as that. So this time doesn't enter into it. It's so quick.
My last question about that, though, was your talk about being hit. I watched the entire thing, and I saw as you guys descended with the parachutes up and everything, and it seemed like you're floating down so nice and easy. But all of a sudden, when you actually touched down, oh my gosh, the smoke,
Bang!
the dust, and everything.
Bang.
Was it hard?
Oh, yes. They said, the hardest it'll be, they said, is like sitting down too abruptly in a chair. No. There was a crash, totally unexpected. The best thing is I was in the ring with George Foreman and Mike Tyson. I've been in the ring with him. Say, hit me, because I want to know what it's like to be hit by him. Bang! Oh my God! I said, hit me. I didn't say hit me. It's that.
King, you're wearing the shirt right now, and luckily the hit has Mr. Shatner here today, and we can see the commemorative shirt. But there is something else, King, that I know you want to present Mr. Shatner with today.
Well, you're right about that. Oh, you've already got it in your hand. Yes, one of the highest honors and the most prestigious symbols of being a full-fledged part of the WWE family is being presented a WWE title. So in recognition of your otherworldly honor, we here at the WWE are honored to present to you a WWE championship to commemorate your historic flight into space. So congratulations, Rocket Man.
It. Thank you, my friends. I shall treasure this. I shall treasure it. Thank you so much, guys. Been a pleasure talking with you.
Two Hall of
Thank you,
Famers,
Bill.
completely my honor. William Shatner, King, Jerry Lawler, what an honor today. And absolutely, we're going to be checking out the album, Bill, and of course, the documentary when we see it. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you. A pleasure
Thank
to talk
you.
to you guys. Take care, everybody.